Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You're now watching the captain.
Welcome back to episode 33 of the Captain's Lounge. We are back with another week with another trio of dope topics, and I'm joined with my usual suspect, Mr. Jordan. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Just trying to get back into work. Haven't worked in I feel like 3 weeks. So today and yesterday was a lot.
Gang, we started back with like a retreat thing for work. And I love my coworkers, love what I do for work. But bruh,
I
I'm ready to
get
go
it.
back to vacation again. I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. But happy to be on the stream, man. Happy to talk.
Yeah, I'm glad to pick this thing up, man. Again, we've been doing this pretty consistently, and I think we've had some great streams so far. So I'm ready to get this going again. And for everybody
Yes,
watching,
sir.
as you saw in the thumbnail, we're gonna knock out the main topic first. I think that's what we're gonna start doing from now on, making sure that I'm getting to the big thumbnail topic first and foremost. So anybody feel like they're getting clickbaited, we're gonna be talking about movies, and not just any movies, but my personal top 10 movies of 2025. Last year, I reviewed a lot of movies. I saw a shit ton of movies. I probably saw maybe around 20 or so, maybe more movies like in that range. I watched a shit ton of movies, and I reviewed probably like more than half of those movies. So I wanted to sit down and kind of, I literally last night I sat down and made a presentation so I could be my professional tip, and my top 10. And it was really tough to rank the movies because inherently I love them all, and sometimes a lot of it can be recency bias on which one I ever saw recently. But I really sat down and tried to think about where I wanted to place them and how I enjoyed them. I'm just gonna go through these, and then Jordan, if you have thoughts on maybe where you would rank something else, or if it's something you saw, but I think a couple of these you saw with me actually.
Yeah,
So yeah, so let's
yeah,
go ahead and get into it, y'all.
yeah. Let's get it.
What was your top thought? You guys something to say?
Nah, I just want to say, yeah, this is your top 10 with, I guess, commentary by me if I think is actually a good list or not.
Right. Uh, we're going with 10 through 5 first, though. 10 through 5, I have Companion at 10. I have Good Boy at number 9. One Battle After Another at number 8. The Running Man at number 7. Weapons at number 6. And I have Superman at number 5.
This is clickbait.
No, why you
You
think
put the
so?
sinners on here.
Oh, yeah,
You put the
yeah,
sinners so my initial reaction is like, no way this nigga put this shit at 10.
yeah.
That's just me.
Nice.
That's my immediate reaction, but go ahead.
Yeah, this is the fucking people. Just I needed something to go there, and I was like, it'd be funny if I just fucking somebody put that there, so they think I have it in like in the bottom half.
Well,
But no,
you got me.
Companion with Jack Quaid was a really fun movie. It was one of those horror rom coms. If you've seen Ready or Not, or if you've seen like Happy Death Day, it's kind of in that same realm of movies, but it's also a pretty solid drama because you're playing around with the whole idea of a robot getting a personality and falling in love or not, or being forced to be in love with somebody else, and her getting sentience. And probably one of Jack Quaid's better performances. I'm not gonna lie, I think Jack Quaid really killed this film, and he did a great role in this. And I think Sophie Thatcher. Give me one. Let me double check to make sure Sophie Thatcher was in this. I need to get my iPad. So I do this on my phone. Yeah, Sophie Thatcher. So Sophie Thatcher is somebody I was really, really in love with as an actor because she was doing a lot of horror stuff already. Because I watched her in uh, Heretic. I think Heretic either
Mm,
came out late or early last year or it came out the year before. But she had been in some dope stuff already.
yeah.
So I love her as an actor. Jack Quaid did his thing, and the supporting cast is pretty solid. And I really enjoyed that movie. The Good Boy is a movie. Again, and for everybody that is watching, most of these movies I've reviewed on my channel already. I've reviewed Companion, Good Boy, One Battle After Another, Weapons, and Superman. I think the only movie on this bottom 5 so far I did not review was The Running Man because I just wanted to enjoy that. I didn't feel like sitting down and reviewing that movie. But with The Good Boy, great movie. Jordan, me and you saw it together. Do you have any thoughts on that movie? Because I know we saw it together.
Yeah. Yeah. Good Boy has a very special place in my heart because, as Charlie know, I don't really necessarily watch horror films. So he's been trying to egg me on for years. Hey, just watch this one with me or watch this one with me. So decided to watch Good Boy with them. And I just thought it was a really good experience, man. I thought just I think the movie was really great, but I think what really brings it all together is at least the film screening that we saw at the end. The director kind of broke down like how they used their own personal dog and all kind of what went into it. So just really appreciate filmmaking, like just this idea of this person being like, I want to use my dog to talk about this concept of what pets or specifically dogs can or cannot see spiritually and like play around with that. I just thought that was really interesting. They play around with death a lot, which I found was really interesting. So it was just a good experience and just kind of proved to me that okay, like yeah, horror is more than just like a shock and awe value. Like there was moments where people in the theaters were people were jumping for a second, but for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, these concepts, I'm like, I can get behind this. So your propaganda is working, Charlie. Your propaganda is working. That's all I
Yeah,
gotta
man.
say.
The Good Boy is definitely one of those movies that I recommend to people that think horror is only like gore or torture porn. If you watch Saw or any of the Halloween movies, like it's one of those that is has a lot to say metaphorically, and then it's cute. And you know, if you're an animal lover and a dog lover, you're gonna love this movie. And again, the movie was a good movie, but a lot of reasons why it's in my top 10 as well was what it meant to movies as a whole. Because this movie was one that was made by like two people at home, and it was made to look like I thought this was a triple, like a big budget film in the way that it was shot and edited and put together. And the fact that two people did this in their home with their dog, wow, I think during the pandemic as well. And the only thing that was outside of it done, I'm pretty sure they hired like outside editors to edit the film. But it was dope. I think it deserved to be here somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah,
Moving
absolutely.
on to my number 8, kind of give a discussion on it, one battle after another. This was this is a masterpiece of a film that Leo acted his ass off in. Chase Infinity did a great job in this as well, and Tiana Taylor was amazing in the first half of this movie that she was in. Like she really left her impact, and for me, it really just brought back the idea for me that I would love to see her as Vixen in the MCU, but in the DCU. Which, granted, I think Jamie Lawson got casted as Vixen, which is fine, but hopefully, especially after seeing James Gunn post like him at a dinner with her, that she's getting some official role, especially because her man in I almost said Jonathan Majors, Jesus Christ, not Jonathan Majors. And Aaron Pierre is John Stewart in this. So I figured she plays some role in the DCU at some point soon. So I'm excited
This her
about that.
man?
Yeah, she's been with Aaron Pierre for a minute now. Because you know she was
I
with
didn't
Amon
know
Sumpter
that.
for a while, and then they got divorced.
Yeah, that's what I was. Man, I'm back with the times. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
this
was
is
assuming she was with still.
no,
Oh,
this happened
shit.
like middle of last year. She's been with Aaron Pierre
Okay.
for a couple months, like maybe half a year.
Hey. All right, Green Lantern. I seen you, my nigga.
And Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. That nigga move, hey, bro. Somebody saw a picture of both of them. They said they look like two expensive house cats, and I was like, damn, I can't unsee it.
Oh, but that's funny. Who thinks of that? But
And
hey,
bruh, Black Twitter is not serious. Um,
never.
the Running Man. What's this? Ryan Gosling? I'm pretty
No, it was
sure
wasn't it
it was Glenn Powell. I'm
the
tripping. Yeah,
yeah,
I
the
almost said
cocky
Ryan
blonde
Gosling.
person, yeah.
Yeah, he acted his ass off in this movie. He did great in this. I didn't expect Michael Cera to be as fun as he was in this. And my guy Daniel Urza, my guy from All American, that nigga, bruh. These British motherfuckers that come over here and just like play Americans so well is funny as hell to me. It's hilarious, and he was great in this. He was great in this. And funny enough, Jamie Lawson makes an appearance. She was great. Josh Brolin was on a run last year. Josh Brolin had this, was on Weapons as well. He's probably in some
Knives
other movies that I'm
Out.
forgetting about. Knives Out, yeah, Knives Out, the third one that came out. He's been on a roll. He's had some great role choices from his agent or whoever helps him pick his roles. They were on one this year. So yeah, he did his thing. Moving into the next one up being Weapons. And again, bringing back up Josh Brolin, talking about Julia Gardner. I saw Julia Gardner for the first time in The Wolfman. I think like a year or so, or 6 months before she was in the Fantastic Four film as well, playing the Silver Surfer. Again, another person she was on a roll. This movie was like a perfect storm. The ads and trailers for this film were amazingly well done. It got a lot of people that are even horror fans invested to go see it. And then on top of that, you have the benefit of having somebody who is currently in a DCU film in a big role, being Julia Gardner as a Silver Surfer. And then you had fucking Thanos as another big main character in this, and Wong was also in this. So you had like a lot of like more MCU people in this film as well. It was just brilliantly made movie. I'm pretty sure this was who directed this. I know the name. I'm blanking on the
Not Jordan Peele.
name. No, Zach Krieger. Which he's funny enough. He's about to do the next Resident Evil movie that's going to come out at some point soon. So
Okay.
Zach Krieger,
All
he's
right.
one of those directors that he does some really interesting things. He did Barbarian, which I was the biggest fan of. I thought the first part was really strong, but it kind of ended kind of lackluster for me, and that's the only thing that I'm really familiar with that he's done up until this point. He's done a lot of other like smaller films, and I think he's worked on some shows as well. I'm looking through his stuff now, but the only thing I would have seen that I really enjoyed him in was Barbarian. Oh, no, what? I lied. He did Companion too. He directed Companion. So Zach Krieger
There you
having
go.
2 movies in my top 10 this year, I'm fucking with it, and I'm excited for Resident Evil to see what that
Hey,
looks like as well.
yeah, man, for sure.
And then obviously, there's talk about Mr. Punk Rock himself in James Gunn in Superman. For me,
God, I love this movie.
for me, Superman was never one of my more favorite DC characters at all. I always say it was I watched his animated series. I watched the other movies he was in growing up. Never really had a proclivity or like an affinity for him whatsoever. This movie really made me a fan of Superman again. It really made me enjoy Superman as a character. Y'all already know the motherfucking gun don't jam. The gun don't jam. That nigga's been cooking this year between Superman, between Creature Commandos. Before this, when he was working on the Suicide Squad, how he brought that back from hell. The Guardians 3 before that, and the other Guardians movies, again, however you feel about Guardians 2 is kind of but Guardians 1 and 3, objectively, in my opinion, were like masterpieces of movies that he put out. He's just a great screenwriter. And then he had a great season in Peacemaker season 2, which I really enjoyed. I think everybody was talking about that when it was coming out. And he did a good job of like exploiting white people's lack of understanding, right? Their own like internalized racism, because this nigga had a whole part of the season to where in an alternate universe that's supposed to be a perfect reality, you don't notice that there are no black people, but all the black folks on Twitter were talking about like there are no niggas in this timeline. And that became that's the
Right.
thought process. And then lo and behold, he's like, did you not notice that you were in a Nazi universe? There are no people of color anywhere here. And it was
Yeah.
dope. It was just really well done. And again, James Gunn is on a fucking roll. I can't wait to see where he takes the DCU further, because there's a lot of projects that he announced that are on the way between Clayface. I think we're going to get the Batman 2 either late next year or early 2027, maybe. But I think it's next year. And we're going to get the Lantern show early this year as well. We're getting a lot of shit. James Gunn, he's cooking. I don't think he wrote or directed any of those other films outside of Supergirl, I think we're all getting Supergirl this summer upcoming as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
Gunn's cooking. The gun's not fucking jamming.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just
Yeah.
agreeing with you. I think it was a tremendous task to not only get people thinking Superman is cool again without making them look too, I guess, straight edge. Not straight edge. What's the right word I'm looking for? I think the
Emo.
previous iteration of Superman we've seen is very like Batman-esque, kind of grim, kind of dark, or at least that was the intention behind it. Like just to have this guy unapologetically like, hey man, I just want to do what's right with the powers that I have. In the time that we are right now,
that I will die for you over
right.
again.
And that's nothing to do with like Henry Cavill either. I think Henry Cavill, what he was given, like he did the best he could. I think he's a great
That was
actor.
all
That's
Zack
not the
Snyder,
issue.
dog. That was Zack
Yeah,
Snyder.
it was
in that
all
show.
Snyder, bro. If you actually listen to him in the interviews talk about like he genuinely did not like Superman. Like you could just genuinely see
No.
how he was like writing. He just did not think he was cool, so he tried to make him cool.
He was like the blatant Jesus shots in that film. Then
Yeah.
I swear to God, I can't find this interview anymore, but I vividly remember seeing an interview where Zack Snyder was talking about an idea he had for Batman was Batman to get arrested and go to jail and get sexually assaulted and get his cheeks took in jail. Like I vividly
Yeah.
remember that being something he said in the interview. And I remember thinking to myself, why
Why?
are we
Right.
doing this?
Right, exactly. So it was just Superman was just by James Gunn was just a breath of fresh air. Albeit, it's funny. There's still a lot of people I talk to who that are older than me that didn't like it, and I always just find that really. I'm not saying you have to love the movie. I'm not even saying the movie was perfect, but I just think it was kind of similar to Weapons. It was a perfect storm of everything that's going on right now. Just see unapologetic kindness coming from a white man, no different from Kansas. I just think that really stands out. And I just really think from the music and everything that was kind of told in the movie, I mean, I still listen to Punk Rocker. It was on my soundtrack. Like that whole soundtrack, I still listen to every blue moon. It's just overall just a good time.
Yeah, funny enough, my friend Brandy said she didn't like it as well. I think there's like a disconnect between people who are, again, comic book fans who enjoy the comics and understand who Superman is as a character and what this movie was supposed to be. And then there are people that grew up watching the Zack Snyder stuff because that's their only really
Hmm.
big interest, or they saw Superman Returns. And both those movies, for the most part, are very
Right.
much so like darker in tone. And you don't, again, if you've only seen those growing up, and you never read the comic books, you don't understand who Superman is as the character. Like, he's goofy. The nigga wears his underwear on the outside of his tights because he wants to look goofy and be warm to people. So yeah,
Right.
I think this is a perfect movie. Like, this is probably the most accurate and true movie to who Superman is as the character outside of watching him in the Justice League the animated series universe.
I
Uh,
agree.
Moving on to the top four. Drum roll,
All
please.
right.
Predator Badlands, Marty Supreme, The Long Walk, and obviously Sinners at number one. I
Well,
had a
Wait, Marty Supreme is three, not two.
Yeah, bro. Again, I sat down and
Okay.
really thought about it. Um, First, to tackle Predator Badlands. Predator Badlands is one of the only movies this year that I watched multiple times in theaters. I watched it by myself, said it was so amazing that I forced this nigga to go with me, and I saw it a second time with him and enjoyed it just as much the second time. This is a movie that really, really brought back a lot of the dopeness of the Yautja and what I love about them as a IP, or as like a race of people in movies. It's very much so far removed from the original energy that the Predator franchise had from it being just a pure slasher film. But what we've gotten
Mhm.
out of the directors that did this, that did Prey, that did the recent Predator animated series that we got on Hulu, that was also amazing. That was tied into the candidates. They have a lot of dope shit on the way. And let me make sure I look for the director's name so I'm not being disrespectful, because this person, who is it? Who is it? Dan Trachtenberg. Trachtenberg. That's who it was. Trachtenberg, he, again, doing this, he did the animated series, and it seems like he's setting up for there to be a more expansive Predator universe. And it seems like we're on track to get another Predator versus Alien movie again, because Alien has also been on a pretty solid run. I think a lot of people really enjoyed the Alien Earth film show, which I did not finish. I need to go and finish. So yeah, the Predator and Alien franchises are in a good place right now with the directors they have on board and where they're looking to go there creatively. Things are cooking. What were your thoughts on Predator Badlands before we move on to the other movies?
Oh yeah. I mean, again, it, I kind of hate I watched this movie because I've never actually watched a Predator movie before. So when I watched this, like, man, this is what Predator movies are. I'm missing out. And Charlie's like, don't have that expectation with the original ones at all. I'm not saying they're horrible, but
They're not
I
like
just
this.
thought, right, they're not like this at all. But I
Hmm.
just thought it was I had no expectations at all, and I just thought it was a good time. I thought the cast was really well. I thought the story was simple but just effective. Like, it wasn't anything like crazy, but I was still
Hmm.
engaged with this idea of like somebody proving themselves that they're worthy of this thing, and then finally coming to the terms with that of like what that is to them. Those stories are as old as time itself, but it just in this predator framework, kind of seeing the inverse to predator be to prey. On this planet specifically. I just thought that was good. I thought that was just a really good execution, and I just had a good time. It's a good time. I've learned that some movies don't have to be like this thought provoking thing. Like, this movie was just fun to watch.
Hmm. And I think if you're looking for other movies like this, you can watch obviously Prey, because it was done by the same director, which is not
Right.
as action packed as this. Is a little more depressing in regards to
Hmm.
tone, but it's still amazing, and I think it fits. It's still
Right.
very similar just because of the same director. Funny enough, I think the Predators movie with Adrian Brody, Lawrence Fishburne, Danny Trejo was in that.
Okay.
There's a bunch of it was a really star-studded cast, but it's also a movie that I feel like is kind of similar. Again, it's not the action isn't the same as far as the choreography goes, but really dope
Right.
movie, and kind of plays into a lot of similar topics in regards to predator culture and like them hunting and how that goes. Because essentially is the predator planet where they hunt on one of them, and they've got the most dangerous criminals from Earth, or people from Earth, to hunt, and they are hunting them essentially, and went through that whole thing. And you have to see
Jeez.
like a
Okay.
bunch of different types of predators, and what they look like and how they fight and how they go about things in their culture. So it was dope. It was dope. I enjoyed that movie as well. I think I still would enjoy watching that. I need to watch that again. It's been a minute since I've seen Predators. But moving
Yeah.
into the number three, wrong thing. Marty Supreme. This is a very difficult movie for me to rank because it's so fresh in my mind. I enjoyed it
Mhm.
so much. Like I love this movie. So part of it could be recency bias, but I genuinely think that this movie was that good for me. This is one of those movies where it was about a topic that I normally would not give a fuck about. I think I said it in my video. The only other movie that made me care about table tennis / ping pong was Forrest Gump. Outside of that, did not care to see table tennis done in any form or fashion in a movie or any TV show. But they made it
Right.
really interesting in the way it was shot and really like suspenseful and captivating, while also the table tennis was the main thing, but all the side stuff and all the stuff that was around the main plot was also just as good, if not more entertaining. Um, like I said before, Odessa Azon was amazing in this, and oh my god, that woman is so fine. It was bad. Um,
He cheated on that.
um,
Crazy.
bad. And then also Tyler the Creator was surprisingly good in this film as well. I didn't know he could act as well as he acted. And he did pretty good in this. And what is her name? I'm blanking on her name. She's in the Gwyneth Paltrow was great in this. Gwyneth
Mhm.
Paltrow was amazing in this. And funny enough, I said it before in my video, did not know my girl Fran was in this movie. Fran the nanny. Her fine ass was in this. I didn't recognize her because she was a little bit older, and I haven't really seen her in much since the nanny. But she still looked pretty good. Again, she was dressed to be the older Jewish mom, but she can act her ass off as well. Again, this movie again with a lot of Jewish actors. It seems like because this is it's more so a story revolving around a Jewish character and a lot of Jewish things, which is dope to see. And Timothy Chalamet just I said in the video, buddy snatched Jack Harlow's chain. Straight up snatched that man's chain. Straight up snatched that man's chain. That man can act his ass off, and he's been on a run. He's on a similar run that Tom Holland was on at one point, where like he was just in every big thing coming out.
Yeah.
Dude
Yeah.
was in this, was in Dune. There's another one I'm blanking that he was in recently. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look at his movies. This he was in the I didn't watch Wonka. I don't know how good Wonka was. I was not interested in seeing Wonka, but I heard solid things about it. I think it made
Yeah.
some bread. Obviously that Interstellar. He was in Little Women in 2019. The Dune movies.
Oh yeah.
I
Shout
mean,
out Little Woman. Great film.
he's an Intergalactic. Just a show on Netflix. I'm pretty sure he's been in some solid stuff. He's been around for a minute. But Marty Supreme, I think, definitely is going to be like his signature role going forward. Like people will probably know, like obviously, unless maybe all the nerds will probably know him for Dune more than likely. But when I hear his name,
Right.
I'm going to attribute him to this film because he acted his ass off and played this morally, honestly, this morally bad character. Like his character in Marty Mauser was an asshole. He was a horrible human being, but you can understand why he was as bad as he was. And how he got to where he got, and why somebody like he was just somebody who was so charismatic that he could just bullshit and charm his way through life and fuck people over. And people knew he would be bullshitting them and fucking them over, but because he was so charismatic, they just allowed it to happen because he made them feel good, it made them feel special. And that was pretty much
You,
the movie in a nutshell.
you know what's funny? I haven't watched the movie, but that's been I guess their critiques. And it's not even a critique on the movie, but just like what because of that, because it seems like he basically just rolled nat 20s the whole movie with his charm. I think there's just a lot of like red pill guys to being like, oh man, that's just like me, bro. That's just like me. I'm like, no, bro. You don't like no, you're not like that at all,
But see,
actually. Like,
the interesting
no,
thing about
and
it is that he rolled those nat 20s, but those nat 20s he rolled was also problems for him later on. All the shit he would successfully
no.
get through bullshitting would also fuck him over in the long run.
Right. So I think I think there's still some guys that are getting like I'm already seeing like edit videos being like, yeah, I gotta grind like Marty. I'm just like I understand the ambition aspect you can really appreciate, just having this one thing you want to be really great at. I can really get behind anybody wanting to do that. But the methods, just from my understanding of what he did, of him being an asshole, like that's not something you probably should like admire. I think that's kind of the I haven't watched the story, but I assume that's kind of the point.
Honestly, this movie was probably the core example of what a red pill nigga that's successful would look like in real life. Like the people that those red pill dudes want to
Okay.
be the super charismatic guy that's attractive, that can
Right.
pull the mills, pull the pretty girls his age. Like he's
Right.
miserable through the entire movie. He's miserable. Like he's charming his way in the rooms and getting what he wants, but his consequences bite
Mhm.
him in the ass. And at some point, he sort of achieves his goal, but not really, and ends up having to like the movie ends on a joyful note because he finally drops all that bullshit and it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a good person now. I'm gonna try to make a decision to be a good person now for reasons that will motivate me to be so. And it ends pretty
Right.
realistically how I think most people's lives end that are like that. Like I've seen and heard a lot of stories of a Marty Mauser, a Marty Supreme, and it should all ends the same way. Funny enough, most of them don't even end as happy as his story ended, in my
Right.
opinion, personally. But I think that's part of what just made this an amazing movie to me. It was written well, it was shot amazingly well, it was written well, it had tension. It was a little bit of it was a horny movie too, so you got your sex scenes in there, and then you got everything that you want in this movie. And again, I really hype this movie up as well because it's one of those movies that it's not a part of a pre-established franchise like Jurassic Park. It's not attached to a comic book franchise or a book or anything like that. It's something, at least to my knowledge, that was purely loosely based off of a real life person. And it's just the story of the writer just really making a dope story. And Timothy Chalamet getting on board with pushing it because they marketed the fuck out of this movie. I saw this movie all
Yeah.
over NBA commercials. That man Timothy Chalamet was everywhere with this.
Yeah, I had TikToks about like Marty Supreme jackets popped up all the time. To my
Yeah, they released
understanding,
a clothing line
yeah, to my understanding, this is the
or
most money
merch.
that A24 has ever put in to a movie in
It's their
terms of
biggest
like
budget.
marketing. It's their biggest, but like that and marketing, like they really, really wanted this movie to be something. Which is funny because like to put it, not the, I know you're not doing your list yet, but like
Mhm.
it's funny because what I've noticed is like Marty Supreme hasn't made as much money as probably A24 expect. It still made money, but not what they probably expected. But if you see how the media is responding to it, it's way different from Sinners, where Sinners did way better than expected, but they were just like, oh, it only made like $90 million in one weekend. It's just like it's just really funny how media specifically comes to black created stuff, it seems like there's like an extra couple of hurdles you have to jump through when it comes to like that. And like Marty Supreme is just like, oh, it did a good job without anybody actually asking, like, did it actually do a good job? And this kind of goes back to like the whole idea of like, do we even use box offices to like quantify if a movie's good or not? So it's just like, it starts that discussion again. I don't want to like rehash stuff we've
We're
already
gonna get
talked
into it.
about. I'm
Give
interested.
me a second. Let me get through the long walk, and we gonna when we talk about Sinners, we gonna talk about it because there's some bullshit been
Okay.
going on.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Mercy Supreme, dope movie, amazing movie. I enjoyed it. It's at my number three. And I again thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't recommend people to go see this movie enough. If it's still in theaters around where you are, please go see this movie. You're gonna thoroughly enjoy this movie. The Long Walk. This is one of those movies. This is one of those movies that I did not know anything about before going into this. The only thing I knew about this movie was that it was based on a Stephen King book. And funny enough, that nigga Stephen King is probably eating right now because between this, The Running Man, which I think The Running Man did bomb in box offices, because that was honestly screwed. That it was kind of destined for failure because that movie came out at the same time as Avatar and what was it? Something else came out around the same time that was big as fuck that was taking off. It was like two major IPs that came out around the same time.
As the Running Man.
No, yeah, it's The Running Man. Yeah, it was Avatar and Predator Badlands came out at the same time. They were
Yeah.
both running at the same time. So I think the movie was good, but I think they didn't market it enough. As like if they would have said Stephen based on a Stephen King book a lot more, and like all the Stephen King fans in, it would have made more money. But it was you were kind of destined to fail when you were going out at the same time as two major IPs in Predator um, and Avatar, which is another movie that people were waiting for forever to come out.
Right.
But yeah, The Long Walk though, a movie did not have any frame of reference for because I'd never read the book, The Long Walk. I think for a lot of people that I've talked to since then that read the book, they said that it took a lot of creative liberties with the book, so it's not 100% like the book. Um, but it's so amazing. General story for people that are looking into it that maybe want to see it. You're essentially in this pre-dystopian world where, and again, it's funny because it feels like America more and more because essentially you're this pre-dystopian world where in America most of everyone is poor as absolute shits. Like everybody's broke unless you're living in a major city, and even then you may still be broke. And one of the things that America does to try to garner attention and raise all the spirits of everybody in the country is to do this thing called the long walk. And essentially is what it is they take they take volunteers from all over the country, men, mostly young men, and they essentially walk a swath from one side of the country to another nonstop. You can't stop to sleep. You can't stop to piss. You can't stop to eat, drink water. You just nonstop walk. You have to walk at a certain pace, and you're getting tracked. If you dip below a certain pace, you get a few warnings. And if if you don't keep up with pace by those time those warnings go off, you get shot dead. You get murdered.
Right.
So the entire movie, you're watching this group of people bond, but also as time goes on, undergo the horrors of what that looks like, and people slowly are dying off. So you're getting attached to characters, and because this movie does a great job of making things suspenseful and impactful, when somebody dies, you feel that shit. You feel it in your chest, especially if it's a character that you enjoy. A guy was in here. I'm blanking on his name right now. I'll look it up in a second. He was the new Karate Kid. Another pretty bad movie, but I had fun watching it though. And I didn't know he could act as well because he pretty much like played a whole totally different person than who he was in the Karate Kid. And I was like, damn, he can act his ass off. Let me look his name up really quickly because I'm blanking on his name. Oh my God. My fingers are big as fuck. The Karate Kid. Which movie was this?
You talking about like the Netflix Karate Kid or the original?
No, they came out in theaters. I think it's Legends, Karate Kid Legends. Yeah, Karate Kid Legends, where Jackie Chan came back for it. Ben Wang came back, and he was great in The Long Walk. He did a great job in The Long Walk. Also, I don't know how I can forget about this nigga. David Johnson. He's one of my favorite actors in Hollywood right now. He did an amazing fucking job in Alien Romulus, I think 2 years ago. And he really blew me away with his role in that. And then seeing him in this, I'm like, he can legit be on Jonathan Majors' trajectory and where Jonathan Majors was taken off to be before his incident. Where like he just has the role. He has that it thing. Because some actors are in like a Michael B. Jordan realm and some are in the Jonathan Majors realm. The Michael B. Jordan realm are like the pretty boy actors who have the charisma and the star power that they're gonna get pushed because all the women want this dude and all the men want to look like this guy. David Johnson is in the Jonathan Majors realm to where he's extremely talented. He's seen attracted by a lot of women, but he's not conventionally attracted by a lot of different means. But he's so good at his roles that you just can't help to give him his respect. So he doesn't really have all the super aura that somebody like a Michael B has or like a Tom Cruise or somebody like that, where you can easily push them because they fit the traditional mold of an actor in Hollywood from back in the day. David Johnson, he's fire. He's somebody. Whenever I see him in the film, I'm likely to go see that movie just to see what he does in his new performance. I really love David Johnson.
I just looked it up while you're talking. You know, he's also British.
That doesn't surprise me.
I feel like these British folks are more American than we are. How they're able to like, it's crazy.
Dog, he sounds like a southern he sounds like he's from the fucking cast of Sinners in this movie. Like he's southern and shit.
That's so funny. Yeah, he is British. He's from London.
Cooper Hoffman did a great job in this. It was good to see Mark Hamill in something else. Granted, his role was a lot more minor than I thought it would be. Because in the ads, you see fucking Mark Hamill, you're like, oh my God, Luke Skywalker, the Joker. He's gonna be a big part of this, and he was a minor part of it, but he made a lot of impact for his role in what he was in this movie. And there's other great actors in this, like Tooten Yielts. I'm probably butchering his name. But nobody else that I really super recognized off the top of my head. But everybody in this was great. It was a small cast, but an amazing cast at that. And I really, really love this movie. I can't gush about this film more than I have been, especially when I did my review for it. I highly encourage people that if you have not seen this movie, go watch it, because it's probably streaming by now at this point, because it came out like I think mid last year.
Yeah.
Now. We're gonna get to number one. Sinners. This fucking movie. I have a lot of mixed emotions about this film, mostly due to the fact that I am a black man who is from the South, And I have again, I've talked about it on the channel before. My grandfather was somebody who's really big into Black history and Black excellence and understanding. I knew where I came from and what my people endured in history and things of that nature. So this movie really spoke to me on a cultural level, where I fucking almost cried tears watching certain scenes because I felt connected to it and the subject matter that was being tackled. I'm a horror fan, so off top, a lot of the horror aspects really resonated with me and looked amazing. I loved the way that the vampires were designed. I loved the way they were presented. I think Remick looked amazing in this. I really enjoyed the societal conversations that were started from this, because after this movie came out, so many people, Black, white, or indifferent, were having all kinds of conversations culturally amongst what it looked like to have Black people have their own safe space, and how, you know, not everybody should be allowed into every Black space and all these different things. White people, we even had conversations with like our friend M and, you know, Voldemort about what it looked like to have
That's
what it
crazy.
looked like to have, again, for people that maybe weren't really hip to why certain things were happening or why characters were perceived a certain way, we were able to explain those and have healthy conversations and dialogue that I think genuinely benefits society. I think movies like this, every so often there's a film that comes along that is a marker on the map of where society is moving towards in regards to the conversations that are had about this, and this is one of those movies. And I swear it's like I'm gassing it, but y'all, this movie only had a marketing budget of like maybe like $90 million, and I think it was made with $90 million.
Mhm.
So small, incredibly small budget film, especially for when you're looking at movies that Ryan Coogler's made before, and like the Black Panther films, or films that Michael B. Jordan has been a part of. When you're looking at the Creed franchise, or even with Haley Steinfeld being a part of Arcane and other MCU stuff like Hawkeye, like a lot of these, hell, even Womni. Mumni, she's in the MCU stuff.
Yeah.
She's in one of the people within the Loki universe, in the Loki show. I mean,
Mhm.
you have
Yep.
big name actors in this that came to play Delroy. Oh my God, I'm blanking on buddy's name. Delroy. What's Delroy's last name? You pull up the Sinners cast.
What is his last name? It's slipping me. Is it Lindo?
Delroy Lindo. Omar Benson Miller, Jamie Lawson, John.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it
was
was a
fast,
stacked
that
fucking
cast.
cast of amazing actors that played amazing roles. And this was like the acting debut of Miles Canton. His story
Yeah.
is also a beautiful story because he had never acted in a movie. He so the way he got into this film was that he was a background singer for her, and the
Mhm.
casting for this movie came up, and she recommended he go and audition for it. And Buddy did not play guitar at all before he like got into this film, so he literally had to learn a whole new instrument and also like brush up on his acting chops to get casted in this film. And bro, I would have never
Yeah.
known this was his first movie ever. I thought it's at least like he'd been in a few other things before now, but he did an amazing
Yeah.
job in this. From the music to the performances to the set design to the way it was shot, all the small technical stuff to the word of mouth that went around in the marketing. This movie was a enigma in the world of cinema, and this is truly what cinema should be, in my opinion. And again, I know I've glazed this movie for like 15 minutes straight now, but that's how important and how amazing I think this movie is to me. And I really struggle with putting The Long Walk or Marty Supreme over this movie, but this movie just meant too much to me as a Black man and as this person as a whole, for me not to put this movie at number one with the way it moved the culture so much. And it was just like, nigga, they put the movie back in theaters, like I think like what, 4 or 5 months after it got removed. Like people put it
Yeah.
back in IMAX to watch it again, and it made even like this
Yeah.
past
For
holiday season, it
Halloween.
made like another 90 million. Like it made its entire budget back over the holiday
Yeah.
season. Like nigga, this is one of those ones. This is one of those ones that I've seen. I saw this movie like three or four times in theater. This is the only time I've seen a movie this many times in theater by myself, with you, and with somebody else. Like I watched this movie a shit ton. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've
And
rambled enough. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? How you feeling?
I mean, no notes. I think you really encapsulated much of what everybody feels about this. You just had to be there, which I'll assume everybody. Well, you just had to be there. Like I mean, I got this from Charlie. Charlie was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna watch this movie. It has Ryan Coogler in it. Like, I think it's gonna be good, but I'm just gonna go." Like, I I don't think anybody was downplaying how good it would be, but I think we were blown away, at least for me, very similar to Charlie being black and from the South. What he was able to almost get away with and put on screen. Like, there were just so many scenes that just felt so black, like blackety black, like Southern black, like just things um, that again, like Charlie said, just really resonated with a lot of folks. And I think it's easy for us as black folks to see something on screen because we don't usually get a lot of representation. At least like when you talk about the multiple generations, like like having something unapologetically us on screen on this magnitude, not only is such as a huge deal, but the simple fact is it's good. Like I remember my mom was like, "We're gonna watch this black movie because it got black folks in." The movie was ass. I can't think of one, but it's just like, you just know, like, okay, the movie's not the greatest movie in the world, but like we support our people. This is a good ass movie. Like that's what I think. This is where rubber meets the road. Is because like it not only resonates with us, but genuinely, like you have people who are not black. They're just like, this movie is really good. And then on top of that, this sort of idea of like black spaces, who owns what. I think that even spreads further with the fact that Ryan Coogler cut that deal to where he owns this film after 20 years or 25 years or whatever it is.
Like it's like 15. It's not even that long. I think it's like a decade maybe.
Yeah, it's not even that long. And like how white people in Hollywood was up in arms about that. Oh, how could you do this? Even though like Tarantino's probably done something like that before. But like just like this idea that this movie was really trying to encapsulate on like who deserves what, who deserves to be in these spaces and why, and should you share these spaces if you allow these people in there? Like these, again, like you said, this started conversation. Any movie, like you mentioned, that starts a dialogue is always a movie that we can look back to and reflect. And like we're talking about as a horror film. I also think the movie was funny as shit. The movie was funny. The musical piece, I will argue, it's just as much as a musical as it is a horror film. Like the centerpiece is just like the true horror. Yeah, the vampires and all that's fine. The true horror is just like the simple fact that like they were growing up in rural Mississippi in the 30s. Like that is the true horror that they had to face. And them, despite all that, using music as an avenue to just enjoy their lives in the moment while still doing what they need to do to get to tomorrow. So there's so many aspects of it that I'm just like, if it's not your cup of tea, you don't like vampires, that's fine. But you can't look me in my eye and tell me this is a objectively bad film. It could be not your cup of tea, but if you took me and said this movie's just bad, then I'm going to have to ask you, like, you're going to have to list out some things why you think it's bad. Because, I've heard people say, like, I forgot what that Tarantino film, To Dusk Till Dawn, I think is what it's called. Like, oh, it's just
let me get to that real quick. Let me get to that.
Yeah, you go. Because
niggas are annoying the fuck out of me with that shit. And this is kind of getting into the conversation. And hell, this may take up the rest of the show because we already 40 minutes in. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. It was rolling.
There's a lot of bullshit that has come out over the last like year since this movie was released in regards to Vanity Fair or other news sources or people trying to downplay what this movie was. For anybody, and I want to make this clear, for anybody saying this shit was just a From Dusk Till Dawn ripoff, fuck you. Simple as that. Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you. Because literally, first and foremost, let's get this straight. From Dusk Till Dawn is not no super original story. This movie was not supposed. It wasn't a masterwork. When that movie came out, that was a B movie. Tarantino, when he wrote that movie, him and I think Robert Rodriguez was the director for that film. They understood this was gonna be a B movie. When that movie came out, it got his little budget back from it, and it was cool. That movie didn't spark conversation. That movie didn't spark any kind of deeper thought in society. It was a cool movie. The general concept you have is people gather in one small area, brothers that were criminals, vampires. That's where the similarities fucking end with these two movies. This movie is a lot more layered and in depth. If From Dusk Till Dawn is a skeleton, this movie in Sinners was everything else, all the muscles, the heart, the blood, everything else that makes a movie as legendary as it is that movie. Now, is From Dusk Till Dawn fun? Is it a cult classic? Yes. I grew up watching it way earlier than I probably should have. I enjoyed From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm thinking Salma Hayek in that movie as Miss Ponderosa to this day fucking does it for me.
To this day.
That woman is not aged. That woman is not aged. She is still fine. I will be with Salma Hayek at 75 to 80 years old if I had the opportunity. She is fine as hell. Love that movie. I thought Danny Trejo, I think it was Danny Trejo was in that movie as well. I think he was in that. I could be blanking on. I think George
Yeah,
Clooney was in that as well. Cool movie. Cool movie. Dope movie.
right.
Great horror movie.
But
It is not Sinners. I want that narrative to die. I want that narrative to sit in the dirt and be buried alongside of all the other bullshit that y'all want to do to downplay this movie. Money wise, I know niggas in Vanity Fair in that article talking about how much the movie made and it wasn't making that much money. Nigga, the movie was on a budget of $90 million. Matter of fact, let me look. Let me double check. Let me double check just to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Let's look at the budget of this film, right? It was the production budget was $90 million. And then let's look at the marketing budget for it. The marketing budget was around 60 to $50 million. So on the high side, we'll say 60 million, right? This total production of this film was around $100 million to produce and market this film. Now, I want to look at its box office performance. This movie worldwide has grossed $368 million.
original R-rated
and it had a
horror movie.
Yeah, and this was most of that was domestically. Domestically, it was 280 million. Domestically, so
Yeah.
most of that production for that movie was in the U.S. At least as far as for the money that came back from that, people went to theaters to see that shit. All that bullshit. We already talked about that in one of the previous streams around the narrative that movies in theaters were dying. We kind of killed that with the numbers and the research from our last stream, but if anything else was a true testament to show that movies were well alive, it was this movie because everybody got out of their house to go see this shit because of word to mouth, not because of the super big major marketing for it. Although the marketing budget was pretty, I mean, roughly big for a movie around that size. This shit was big and a success because of word to mouth because this resonated with people. It meant something to a lot of people, especially black people. 368 million fucking. You more than double. I think almost triple your production cost.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? It's not to compare it back to Marty Supreme, but let's do that really quick because I haven't heard anybody talk bad about that. And so their budget, because this is one of their most expensive films, production's around 70 million. Like, I mean, that's not even including the marketing. We just talked about how crazy that marketing is. So to even break even, they probably got to make at least $175 million on this movie. You know how much this movie? It's only been a month. I want to give it grace. But you know how much this movie? You want to guess what Marty Supreme's grossed up to this point?
Probably like 90 mil.
60.
60. It's only been out for what? Like not even.
It's only been out for. It's only been out. It's been out for since December 19th. But the point being, I think opening weekend Sinners made what, like 90?
I can check. Hold on. Let me see. And
Sinners,
it surpassed. It's in the top 10 now of like the top 10 rated R box office domestic movies to ever grow. Like I think it just passed The Hangover. Sinners box office numbers. Oh, let's see opening weekend.
Yeah, look at opening weekend.
Opening weekend made 48 million domestically.
Okay.
The movie it didn't have the biggest, strongest start because I think a lot of niggas were kind of like how you were, where it was like, yeah, I'll probably go check it out. And the niggas like me that suck because I think only like the big horror fans are fans of Coogler and Michael B. Like we heard about the movie like 2 years before it came out because the only thing that was announced was that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are making a Vampire Hunters movie. And I was like, nigga, that's right up my alley. I love Coogler. I love Michael B. I love fucking horror and vampires. So I'm watching this shit. And I think it took a little bit for that momentum to get going for Sinners because 48 million opening weekend.
Yeah,
globally it was 63 million globally.
Yeah, that next weekend
it's about on pace.
But okay, and I actually prefer that. So it's like it's on pace to do the similar amount of numbers. What all this marketing are doing, great. But the only articles I've seen is just how Marty Supreme's success and Timothée Chalamet, he's just another great actor that can just bring in money over the holidays. And I'm just like, it's just frustrating to me. It's not trying to downplay him or the movie itself. It's just like it's one of those things that we've always been told as black people, you got to do twice as much to just get half of what white people get. And this is just another prime example of all these hoops we have to jump through just to get recognition. And to your point earlier, Charlie, it's just like that we were talking about before the stream. We're in that season where movies are starting to get awards. It's just a simple fact of like, Is Michael B. Jordan going to probably win Best Actor? Probably not. I mean, I think the movie's going to win some awards, but probably much less than it probably should. With the idea of like, yeah, and not only is it going up the alley as a black movie, but to your point, like it is a horror film, and historically, horror films just doesn't get their due when it comes to awards. So it's just another example where most people will tell you, yeah, this movie's probably the best movie that came out for sure last year. For it not to like sweep, but if I told you Tarantino made this film, do you think that would make a difference?
They would suck this movie the fuck off if Tarantino
That's
made
what I'm
this movie.
saying. That's what I'm
Tarantino
saying.
wishes he could make a movie like Sinners, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. I
That's
was
what I'm
about to
saying.
bullshit. I was about to talk shit and bullshit and say Timothy Chalamet cannot like bring in money like that. Dog, I went.
No,
I
he
went
can
to
bring money like
Wonka.
that.
Wonka
He can
made
bring in money like that.
$634 million worldwide on a
Yeah, like
$125 million budget. I did not know niggas
no,
were fucking with
no.
Wonka like that.
I guess we gotta watch it. I
I
guess
gotta
we
watch
gotta
Wonka at
watch it.
some
But no,
point. I was like, damn, Timothy Chalamet. Hey,
no,
I knew in Dune he was great. I loved him in Dune, but I did not know he made money like that at Wonka. Jesus Christ, that's
hey, he got the
634
song.
million on a $125 million budget is crazy.
It's crazy. It's for Wonka, no less. But like the point, it's and I always want to preface by saying this: it's not anti them. It's just pro us. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things where it's like I'm not trying to downplay anybody else to uplift us. I just want us to get the recognition that we deserve. So just anytime I see these sort of allegations basically thrown around about like, oh, it's just a remake of this or that, like I can't tell you how many times white directors remake something themselves. Like it's just like these. It just blows my mind that we just can't say this is a good film and here's your reward for a good film. There's always like a star or an asterisk beside it. I can't. Why? What's wrong with just saying Sinners is good? That's all you have to say. No buts, no and, no. It's a good movie. That's it.
If we're because again, if we're bullshitting like that and saying this is just from dusk till dawn, nigga, Star Wars is literally just an Akira Kurosawa film like retold.
Dune.
Like every
Oh, that
movie,
too.
there's always an inspiration. Dune was based on a book,
Yeah.
so I think Dune was for the most part was based on a novelization that was out a while, like long before
But
Star
the
Wars
point
came out.
exactly is that there's nothing new under the sun. We always like kind of do additional renditions, and that's fine. I think that's the beauty of storytelling. It's almost like the telephone game that we used to play as kids. Like you say one thing, and by the time it went down the chain, it's a whole different story. But that's kind of the point. But they were all based off something else that somebody else told. So like that's the beauty of human nature and being able to. We're all on the same rock for all these years, but still able to come up with very unique perspectives on the same things that we see every
Mhm.
single day. I think that's great. But I guess for black folks, it's always like, well, it's already been told before. And it's like, yeah, y'all told this too. Like, so what's the difference?
It's not a
I will
slave
argue
movie.
It's
It's
I
not a
guess
movie
so.
that's the niggas in a cotton field. It's not a nigga
Right.
getting his foot
Only
cut
black
off.
movie. Right. Only black movies that get like uplift their teeth. It's like when there's black pain or black
And those movies
struggle
can only
on
be made by
screen.
white directors.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
I predicted this a while ago, but this movie is going to get hold at Oscar season. Though I'm going to predict this shit now. The only award Sinners is going to get stuff for best score because I think Ludwig's going to get a lot of credit. One because he's white, and two because he's amazing. But they're going to give something
Yeah.
to Ludwig for that. Coogler may get something as far as like best screenplay possibly. We may
Yep.
get like a best supporting actor role. But
Yeah.
that's gonna be about it. They're not gonna
That's
give
it.
out best movie. They're not gonna give out actor of the. They're not gonna give out any of that shit to anyone in this film. It's gonna go to Marnie Supreme. It's gonna go to. Let me look at my list again. It may go to Long. I think the Long Walk may. Well, no, it's not gonna do anything. It's based on horror. Again, we already know what the Oscars. Horror already gets hold. Black movies that aren't made in black paint or by black directors get hold. And black centric movies that have black faces on them get hold. Again, unless they're based in trauma. Because this
Mhm.
movie is a like formula of all those things combined into one movie, this shit is about to get hold at the Oscars, even though we know what it is. Again, the People's Choice Award, I think it was People's Choice Awards, just for the fact that movie, that award got sent to Timothy Chalamet for a movie that just came out, when we understand the cultural moment that Sinners was. Yeah, there's a big disconnect between the consumers, between the critics that review these movies, and the actual actors themselves. Because I talked to you about it a little bit before the stream started. There's a creator who, matter of fact, I'm gonna try to see if I can find. Oh, no, it's too late at this point. He made
What?
a video or reel where he was bringing up all the different instances throughout history, at least recent history, where musicians or actors white musicians or actors got awards over the black actors or musicians at that point in time that they knew they did not deserve or they did not need. And they were on stage
Right.
talked about how much they enjoyed that person's art and how much they deserved it. Granted, Timothy Chalamet was more so just giving props to Michael B. But when you go to Billie
For sure.
Eilish and how Billie Eilish was talking to Megan Thee Stallion, talking about how this is your year and this is your award. I'm surprised I even won this shit. When you go to Adele with the fucking Lemonade shit, how Adele was like, "Oh my god, this is your award." If
Right.
the creatives in the field can acknowledge that this was something that was amazing, the people that are putting money towards this thing that shows you with their dollars that they wanted to see this through their conversation, through their interest, that this is an amazing movie to them. If two out of these three people in this equation pretty much for the most part saw Sinners as the best movie that came out last year, and the critics, the people that are a part of the Academy, were the only ones to be like, "Yeah, we're gonna give this shit to Martin Supremo, or we're gonna give this shit to something else because we feel like if this one." At that point, we need to change this criteria, or just
Yeah.
again, just stop putting a lot of, at least especially for Black people, stop putting a lot of value into the Oscars as a whole because that shit is obviously very biased and obviously on some bullshit. Because it
Yeah.
has to be a slave movie. It has to be a depressing movie in blue hue, like blue color grade and shit like that for them to take this movie as a serious movie. Like The Revenant should not have been a fucking Oscar award winning movie. I'm sorry. Great movie, not Oscar worthy. That shit was not Oscar
No.
worthy.
No. And
But
that
yeah,
almost felt like that almost felt like just here
Here
nigga
Nigga Damn
damn
Award.
award for Leonardo because he should have got that way before that. Way before
Gang.
that.
With Everywhere, Everything, All at Once, although I do think it was an Oscar worthy movie, nigga, the best lead actress in the film should not have gone, or best supporting lead should not have
Oh
gone to Jamie
yeah.
Lee fucking Curtis. That shit was
No.
meant for
No.
Angela Bassett and Black Panther 3.
Oh yeah.
Because
That
y'all
was
are hoeing Jamie Lee Curtis for her entire career because she was in a lot of horror stuff, or she was in that was like Disney stuff or stuff that wasn't really Oscar worthy, you kept hoeing her.
right.
But now because she's older and this is probably one of the last films to this degree she may end up doing that's going to get big like this that may be warranting of an Oscar credit, you're going to finally give her this fucking award. Even though that shit
Which
should
is
have went to
crazy.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, cause she carried Black Panther too. Like she like that movie.
She
I
had
still
to.
think, and this and I would this is a hot take, but I actually think Wakanda Forever was actually a good movie given the plate that Ryan Coogler was basically given to the fact that like R.I.P. like Chadwick Boseman, like he basically had to rewrite his whole thing from scratch. Now, granted, he probably I don't know Chadwick already told him or gave, but to my recollection, he didn't know. So like he had to basically upend and uproot everything he was doing and basically build the story that he wanted to do, acknowledge Chadwick and his legacy that he's gonna leave behind, and still keep it MCU like keep the continuity on that by Disney. So it's just like the fact that that movie still even exists and it was still actually like at least I enjoyed it. The music was good. I think no, to your point, like everybody that was in there for the most part was acting their ass off, like almost like in honor of Chad. I don't know, man. It's just like I think specifically just because that was an MCU movie and they didn't want to give it to her, and like you said too, like Jamie Lee Curtis, like she hasn't gotten anything up to this point. But still, like if we're gonna do that, why not have like honorary Oscars? Then why won't we just actually just have that
Man,
be a
fuck
whole
the
different
honorary
category?
Oscar. Give them the actual Oscar. Just stop hoeing. And again, I understand a lot of this is very subjective. It is very
Yeah, I know.
subjective. I get
Yeah.
it.
Why do we even care? Like you said earlier, why do we even put value into this like metal gold thing that tells you that you're good? We don't have to give it value at all.
It's just annoying, bro.
But at the
It's
same
annoying.
time,
This is one of those scenarios where, bro, everybody I understand there's like the hype beast movies sometimes or hype beast products where like you're giving a critical review on it where I'm like, okay, maybe it's overrated. Dog, this shit was a moment in history, in cinema history.
Yep.
People are gonna always remember the day, like the Sinners experience, and remember what Sinners was like and what it was like when Sinners came out. White, black, or indifferent,
it's like
niggas are
Black
going to
Panther.
remember this shit for like the next 20. Like you're gonna remember where you were when you saw Sinners for the first time, like you did with Black Panther, like you did with Star Wars when that came
Yeah.
out, like you did with Avengers when that first came out, with Infinity War, with
Oh, yeah.
Endgame. You're gonna remember what it was like when you saw this movie in theaters and what the conversations were like when you left those movies.
So good. And that's what to the point that we were trying to make in the last stream. Like I think the reason why Gen Z is upticking that because that's the coolest shit about having this one place where y'all all go to for movies that y'all can talk about afterwards. Like there's something beautiful about everybody collectively watching this one thing and being able to talk about this one thing afterwards. And it's almost like a you're in or you're out. If you haven't watched Sinners, almost to the credit of the movie, you can't get inside. Like you got like this is a thing internally, and then when you're even inside, this is Black folks' business. So you got to be even inside of that. Like it's just like there's so many layers to it, and I think that's what makes movies beautiful. And I think that's why movies, especially with our generation, is upticking because of that sense of like being able to talk about these things while also watching just a good thing on screen. I think this is good for film, and we need more films like this. That's why, like, they shouldn't care, but since we've deemed it valuable, they deserve all these. Sinners deserves all these awards because if not, then big execs gonna look at it. So you didn't win that many awards. So you didn't make that much at the box office. We don't want to produce these sort of films anymore.
Oh
They're
no,
already
no. They gonna look how much money that shit made first and foremost. When these big studio execs are looking at what they're gonna put money behind, the Oscars are cute. They're cute. They're
right.
just looking at that bottom line. They're looking at that bottom line.
Oh yeah.
They're looking at that money. They're looking at that money. They're looking at product placement, ad placement. They're gonna keep pushing out movies like this. Now, will they be as good? Maybe, maybe not. But them big executives that are making decisions on what movies come out, they're probably already pushing for Sinners 2 and 3. They want to probably make this shit a big fucking trilogy. But I hope that Coogler isn't going to be like forced or pushed into doing that. That he takes his time with. If he does want to do a sequel, that he does it in his own way, and just push this shit out.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, I do want to go ahead and give everybody just really leave this on a good note of being excited for movies that are coming out this year. This is going to be also a good year for movies. So from what I've seen thus far, we already got a trailer for They Will Kill You that's starring Zazie Beetz, which I don't think I've ever seen Zazie Beetz in a starring role in a film. She's been a supporting actress for a lot of stuff, from the Deadpool movies to being in Atlanta. But she gets to be in a starring role in They Will Kill You in a movie that is, I think, written by Andy Muschietti, the guy that did Welcome to Derry and the It movies. And it seems like it seems very similar to Ready or Not or You're Next or Happy Death Day, like one of those horror comedies. It seems fun. I'm excited to see this movie. And there's a trailer that probably came out today that I want to see. We could probably, I ain't gonna react to it on stream because I don't want to get the shit copyrighted. But it's gonna be The Death of Robin Hood, I believe, starring Hugh Jackman. It's another A24 movie. A24 is fucking cooking. At this point, I'm at a point now in my life to where if A24 puts out a movie, I'm watching that shit no matter what it is. I'm giving it a look out because at this point, them niggas don't let me down. I can't think of one movie that was horrible. There'd be maybe like a mid movie here or there, but A24 consistently puts their name behind amazing films. But yeah, They Will Kill You is going to come out this year, really soon probably. I got to see the trailer for The Death of Robin Hood. I'm excited to go see the new Carrie movie that Mike Flanagan's doing, the Clayface movie this year. I think the Batman 2 is scheduled for this year, if I'm correct. Supergirl. There's a lot of dope movies that have already been announced for this year.
I think Spider-Man comes out this year, I think.
Spider-Man, yeah, brand new date comes out this year. I think we're getting the remake or the sequel to The Exorcist with ScarJo in it, either this year or next year. I saw the announcement that she was getting casting in it, but I'm not sure if the movie's going to drop this year or not. But there's a lot of movies, horror or otherwise, that are coming out this year. So y'all, I preach to you, please, 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 whether it's a big MCU title, whether it's a big horror title, even if it's a smaller one that you're just somewhat interested in, form your own opinions and watch these movies yourself. Yes, there is a chance that you hate the movie, but at the end of the day, you saw and got your own valid opinion for it. If you have any interest in it, just go watch that shit. Don't wait on your favorite creator to tell you to go see it. Yes, it helps and it's great, and I know it sounds really fucking crazy coming from someone who is a creator that would love for people to watch my reviews on stuff, but take people's opinions with a grain of salt and understand that they're their personal opinions. Because I'm pretty sure people that are watching this video later on, you're not going to agree with my list 100% or maybe at all, depending on who you are.
Nor should you. Nor should you agree.
You should have your own perspective on it.
You have your own opinion.
So yeah,
exactly.
You have any other closing thoughts and sentiments before we get up out of here?
Yeah. To Charlie's point, go watch movies. Go get you A-list or Regal membership. Like, just go out there and just enjoy movies, man. There's gonna be plenty of them out there, and then we'll be here to talk about it if you actually care about our opinion. So
yeah. this year I do plan for a lot more on the Captain's Lounge to be discussing these movies. I'll have my own individual review for it, but I'm assuming that you guys watching this, you're gonna get, like Jordan being here, you're gonna want to hear his thoughts on stuff as well. So we'll probably sit here and talk about, because more than likely we'll probably go together to see the movie at some point anyway. Just
Probably.
lives around the corner from me. So we'll talk about some movie reviews for movies depending on what they are. You'll expect more dope news from just us in general, because for people that are new to this, welcome to the dojo. First and foremost, welcome to the dojo. This is Captain Diesel's Dojo, it's a YouTube channel. But the Captain's Lounge is going to be a stream that we will be doing every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to get on and talk about some different topics and things in pop culture, things in media or the nerd space going on that I just don't get the time to cover in its entirety in a regular video on my channel. I want to be able to talk about certain things candidly and kind of build that up. And then also on Sundays, you guys can expect every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, the Pull is Therapy with me and Dr. K. Renee, where we'll talk about more comic-oriented things, where we'll be talking about the comics we read that week and a lot of that content as well. So thank y'all so much. You guys can expect a lot of big things from me this year, a lot of big interviews that I have on the horizon. I have Miss Stephanie Williams on schedule. We're supposed to maybe in sometime in April have her interview whenever she gets off of her touring list. And then my guy Doug Wagner, when his new book with, I think it's called Noah. He's coming off of I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, which is amazing. And he's dropping another book that's going to be within that serial killer universe that he said already. I got confirmation that he'd be down to come back on the channel and maybe do an interview with him and discuss the new book with him. But yeah, y'all, a lot of stuff coming to the channel this year. A lot of things coming for me this year. Again, if you guys at all are big fans of comic books again and want to support me, again, if you made it this far to the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Not share, subscribe to the video. Like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and make sure you're hitting all for that, because YouTube is really particular about sharing, alerting people to the videos that drop. If you don't hit all and you just hit personalize, it's not going to give you everything. And again, if you guys are another big fan of me, you want to support me in another way as well, my first comic book, Reaper, is out now, and it's been out for a little bit now, that you can find on echelongraphicnovels.com, or if you have a Global Comics account, you can go to Global Comics and read it there. So that book is out, as well as the second issue is in production officially. And just to give you guys a little insight, this is the cover for Reaper here. Make sure I fit it to the screen. Oh my God, I'm fucking up.
It was on the screen for a second.
Yeah, let me go back. I'm tripping. Whatever it is, oh wait, there it is. I mean, we downside. What the hell?
Yeah, it's such a tease that we actually can't show y'all.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I was doing. My bad, y'all. This is the cover for issue 2. I got my guy Gian Ben. I'm gonna butcher his name. Dope guy. He is on the Todd McFarlane production team, funny enough, and he saw all the art, all the news around issue 1, and I took the chance of saying, hey man, would you be down to do a cover for issue 2? And I am absolutely in love with how that cover turned out. If you guys want to support the issue, the Kickstarter is now officially up on Kickstarter right now. If you guys go into Kickstarter, the website or the app, and literally just type in Reaper issue number 2, or just Reaper as a whole, it'll probably be like the second thing you find there. As far as projects there. And bro, this second issue is it. I was a little bit more timid in how I wrote the first issue, because there's a lot of new things that were new to me in regards to how to write in a comic book format as far as scripting. Nigga, I was cooking in the second issue. I was cooking with fucking grease. I was cooking in the second issue. So I'm excited just for you guys to see this book, see the new characters I introduced, see the concepts that I try to get into. Yeah, y'all. I'm excited. So again, thank you guys so much for all the support up until this point. Thank you guys for the support that you guys showed us this going throughout the rest of this year. And yeah, y'all, this has been Captain Diesel of Captain Diesel's Dojo. My guy Jordan. And y'all remember, forever and always,
You're now watching the Captain.
and I'll see you guys next year. Peace. Not next year, this year. Damn, next time. Shit.
Peace.